At here, we are looking at the division. This is the top tier, which there are two tiers. I'm in the other division, the Hades division. This is the Zeus division. 5 players. 3 go to the playoffs. I just realized I have the number on the far left a little bit wrong. But for all intents and purposes, Kiber and Benny are essentially tied. Here, it doesn't really matter coming into it because what do we got? Top 3 make it, right? So Apoy is guaranteed. Isomardo, it might not look it at the immediately. He is also guaranteed because he beat both Kiber and BenniWr. There are 3 points left in this last match. So if you, all that matters is this individual game column 86544. So Kiber versus BenniWr. If Benny wins 2-1, Isomardo advances, Benny advances. Isomardo has a tiebreaker over both Kiber and Benny because he beat them both. So whoever wins this series makes the playoffs. Whoever loses is out, done, depressed, sad. So we'll see what happens here. It's just fun to end up like this, where this is the last match, and it decides playoffs for both of these players. Not like one's playing spoiler. They're fighting for the lives here. Whoever wins 2 of the 3 makes it. So let us see what happens here. So Kiber Benny, game numero 1. We are on the fine tundra with an Odin War. Let us, however, very quickly change my scroll speed to 5%. Apply, save. And let's get going. We will generally skip age 1 because not a whole lot happens in age 1. So Kiber versus Benny on Tundra. Both are apparently very eager to show off their Odin. Very optimistic in their Odin play because they are picking Odin into Game 1 Tundra against each other. Raptor AOM in the chat started a new job in a new city. Well, that's always exciting as long as you like your new job in your new city. Hopefully you do. But I had a new job in a new city once, and I enjoyed it. But then I realized I am not talking to you, Alexa. You be quiet over there. Alexa's over there just talking to me. Yeah, I moved close to Chicago for a new job. New city. Was born and raised in the very countryside country of Illinois, so it was quite the change, and I enjoyed it. But then, after about a year and so, I realized I kind of missed like my family and the people I grew up with, and I didn't enjoy there being a million cars and a million people everywhere. So then I moved back home and been here ever since. So not that I didn't enjoy it, just it was all right. But anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about the 2 players here, BenniWr and Kiber. I am not exactly familiar with Benny. There might actually be, these guys might both actually be in the DoD clan. This might be a DoD showdown. A little bit of ego on the line here to make it in the playoffs. Kiber did play in fact, let's take a look real quick. Let's pause the game. Athenian League Season 2. I believe Kiber played Season 2. And yes, he won the middle tier. So in this season, he is in the top tier. So he advanced up, right? This is what I like to see. Returning players kind of improving. So he won the middle tier. So coming into this league, I'm like, well, there's no sense in putting him in the middle tier again, right? He kind of leveled up. So let's put him in the top tier. So he's in the top tier fighting for his life against BenniWr. We have our age up a little bit quicker for Benny in the blue. I haven't played enough with Odin to really know like what's the better build here. I mean, they're both hitting with the same villagers, just Kiber ages up one villager slower. Or, yeah, one villager slower or has one more villager. Probably if there's no pressure, it's, you know, you're probably a little bit better to age up just slightly slower here. As both players use Great Hunt and will have plenty of hunt in their base on Tundra. We've got Kiber trying to wall off here. I would have... Actually, walling off in like the positioning of your base can really matter a ton in games like this, where you'll probably see a lot of raiding. I do like to see Thundering Hooves ASAP. That's a good tech to get right away. Speed is always so important. And Thundering Hooves here gives plus 10% speed to Cav and Valkyries. Walling off the bottom here, that's cool. Doesn't quite have the front. There we go. Wall this off. Probably could have saved him a little bit of trouble by like putting this temple up against the wood line. It's just a little bit awkward to have this hole here. You know, you just move the temple, just shift it just to the top side of the tower. And then it makes it a little simpler to wall this off. Will it matter? Maybe not. Both are killing Hunt to gain favor. Kind of a... I wish this didn't really exist. Just the killing of Hunt to gain favor. It's not... It just doesn't seem like a healthy kind of gameplay where you're just taking resources off the map. We have our Berserk here getting a little excited. And a little bit of Herseer action against the Cavs. And Benny is the one who's pressing the issue just to begin with. So we see everybody here. Yeah, see, this is just such an awkward, like, defensive lane. I guess maybe I don't even know if this is actually fully walled off. Yeah, maybe he's trying to, like, encourage this guy to come running in and then he'll, like, trap him. They're actually, you can see the players that, like, really think ahead. Like, getting traps is really good, but you don't see that very often. What I mean by that is you kind of let a player get into your base and then you close it up behind them. And then just get them stuck in your base. Some really good players are able to do that. Otherwise, I think most players just don't quite have kind of the general tactical game sense to think that far ahead. But yeah, rather than fight each other right now, they are just literally running around the map, killing animals everywhere because favor is key. They want to get their favor that they need for their techs and such. You know, a couple extra Valkyrie. We already have Thundering Hooves. And do we have Thundering Hooves on this side yet? We don't, but we do have... What relic did we get? Bonus damage against buildings. That's a solid upgrade or relic if you ever get to the point where you're attacking a base or something. A few herdmen in defense. He's got to be careful. He might start chopping through the forest here. And both players are walled up pretty well here. But again, both players are also kind of chopping through the wall here. Like I'm a Kiber. I have this Raven here. I see what's going on. I am moving these guys up and around and coming in as soon as this, in fact, there might even be a hole here, but coming in as soon as this opens up. And we see a Valkyrie coming out. That's what they're fighting for. They want these early Valks to help with the fighting early on. Benny is looking to get some pressure, comes in. A little bit scary to come in because, again, it's so easy to get trapped. And, oh, fall back, Kiber. These are not quite a fight you want. Yeah. Also, too, in this matchup where you're Odin versus Odin, any unit that doesn't full die generally gets healed up. But yeah, I'd like to see Kiber coming up here. I think there is a hole right now in this. And he had the Raven to spot it. I would come in here. You almost combine this, run on in, forest fire here, you're probably killing 4 villagers. As we see, Benny is kind of trying to push in, but there's just nothing to push. So your big fight is going to be a gold mine here. And catches the Valk out. But we'll have to retreat. Now we have a aggressive forest fire here. Looks like our first big fight of the game. A lot of spearmen here. I don't think Benny can fight this. He's trying to get them in. You know, you come in. I think you rush in here. Try to get him to run across the burning land. This burning land does so much damage. It's insane. Like it's kind of sneaky, overpowered. Like, it's one of those things, like, if you're not paying attention, you can lose your entire army so quickly. But we have a forest fire that's been used. Not a whole lot happened here. Both players are at 34 vills apiece. Very even in military. Very even in pretty much everything. Don't really have any herdmen for Benny. He is all aggro here. He's actually making a few throwing axemen, so he's wanting to be aggressive. I just think this is too scary to fight into. I don't think you fight this. I think you see these herdmen and realize that you are ahead in the food production and maybe try to hit an earlier age up. But instead he's making tons of berserks, which is draining a lot of his food. And we do have a little raid coming in over here. He did notice it, so he's kind of reacting already. And really wants to get this Valkyrie. If you can kill a Valkyrie, that's good. Nice to pick off a villager without actually losing any units. Very carefully done by Benny. It's just so easy to get trapped out. Be nice to wall this off. Kind of finish this off. You don't get trapped. It's the danger of like actually doing a raid where now you're losing all of this for one villager and not worth it at all. And you can see we've got Nord aging over here. I don't know. You know, historically in Legacy, you would never see Nord. You would always see the Frost Lady, Scotty. So a little bit surprised to see Nord so much. I don't know if it's to like tech into the what's the upgrade that Nord gets? It's Ring Giver. Makes Jarls stronger, and does give raiding cavalry the divine damage of 1. So yeah, maybe that's what they're looking at here, is the divine damage aspect of it, and maybe some super strong Jarls. Just the Jarls will take a little bit of time to get going. Would like to move your ox cart up just a little bit. You've got pickaxe. This guy's got pickaxe. A lot of villagers, 20 villagers on one kind of resource here. It's a lot of idle time. And we have a bit of another skirmish. And Benny has a score lead. Is now behind in age. Looks like he's trying to force a fight here. Because he has a much bigger army. Got to use the trees. In defense. And do you fight this? I think you do as Benny. We have a forest fire for Kiber, though. It kind of does a little bit of damage on the back line here, though. I would have liked to have seen it on this one instead. Would have given him a free retreat here. And then you could fight right here. Like, imagine he just has it saved here. But this is a huge choke point, but the only person with range units here is Benny. I question whether that's a good fight for Kiber to take, and it might have been the Nord age up into a loss here. Because Benny's just staying in classical age and just going full throttle aggression. And it looks like it's got him a win. I mean, he's at full pop. I don't see how Kiber can get the resources to get any sort of army close to this. So he's essentially dumped 1,300 resources into a mountain giant and a few trees that aren't super good in a fight. A few units that have come forward. We've got some raiding Wolfsarks over here on the villagers. Kinda gotta watch that. Got another skirmish on the left. I mean, Kiber just has to fight this and hope he wins. He can't just fall back, but looks like he's just kind of split up and losing a large portion of his army over here. And Benny is going to take this game outside of something crazy happening. So we do have a snuck gold mine over here, but I don't know. I don't think we have enough of a chance to come back, and it looks like Benny is smartly deciding he'd better check this gold mine down here, and he is going to check, and as soon as he notices, he's going to be sending all of these units down. Yes, they were in position to see. Looks like he is going to try to split them off, and in the end, the Nord really gave no value. Maybe the Frost would have done a little bit more. I mean, even if you do like an aggressive Frost on like all of this, just keep 23 villagers idle for 40 seconds is a lot of resources wasted. But yeah, it looks like Kiber is now just out of luck. He's hoping to get like some sort of magical raid with these 6 shield maiden Valkyries. Maybe he can get it. He's gonna need to kill 20 some villagers though to keep up, and a lot of idle time. And these shield maiden Valks do so much damage though, it's nuts. Sitting in his base, just happily doing nothing. Has another gold mine up here. Getting some raids in. But at some point these units have to come back. The Valks do. And we have to have some sort of say, I guess they can run through this wall here quick, but the Valks gotta come back. They gotta come back fast. Still I mean, he's caught up a little bit in military. You can't fight this without your Valkyries, though. Just retreat. There's no need to fight this. Could have bought enough time for these Valks to show up. Would it have made a difference? I don't know. But maybe with how long everything else is surviving, there's no heroes here. So, a little bit of a poor decision by Kiber to fight this before the Valk showed up. And that is the win to Benny. Game 1 goes Benny's way. And an interesting difference in strategies here, where you have the all-in classical versus the semi-quick heroic. There was opportunities for Kiber. He just took a fight too early. Here, got a little too far forward. Got caught out, forced to fight. Chose the wrong forest to forest fire. Should have done it on this one. As he retreated, that would have given him safety to be able to come all the way back without taking losses. And then maybe been able to buy enough time to get a winning fight here. But in the end, he just takes 2 bad fights back to back. Takes this fight, loses it, loses another one outside, and so he took 3 straight bad fights. It's hard to, when you lose the first one, it's hard to come back and get your second and third ones. You know, it's just like a snowball effect at that point. So, first game goes to Benny. I'm really rooting for Kiber to win game 2 to keep it a very important 3-game set. So take a look at the post game. Resources are pretty much dead even. Even with this huge raid, it's just Kiber needed to be a little bit more defensive. Since he's aging up and the opponent isn't, he has to wait because he's behind so many units here. So be a little more patient. Didn't quite do it though. It's a really bad kill death because of that one fight. So let us load game replay number 2. So what do you got here? Ghost Lake. Both players are switching gods here. We've got a set. So yeah, I don't know much about Benny. I don't know what gods he plays. Pharaoh is named Limited Scout, which is true for Ra, not so much Set, who is actually almost unlimited Scout. Got his 20 wood in, so he has 120 total to get pickaxe. Is pretty common for your Norse, or for your Egyptian player. We do have a Norse. It's Kiber. He switched over to Thor on Ghost Lake, going for the Dwarven Armory build, which by that I mean Thor has a bonus where when he researches armory upgrades, he gets a dwarf along with the armory upgrade. So it's all about the economy. So you can see here he's just training dwarves so that he doesn't have idle time. He doesn't have a whole lot in terms of food, just 75, so he can make one more villager once this dwarf is done. We have a relic here for cheaper siege, blah blah blah, not really that good. And which one does he get after this? He probably is looking at getting copper shields, it looks like. It's a nice map to do this on as Thor, because you can drag the hunt underneath the town center. I imagine once he gets his last there he goes. He's probably gonna get, yep, he's gonna get copper shields. So nicely done here. Get the copper shields in as soon as first armory upgrade is done, and now probably doesn't get any more at this point because it's gonna take too long to get all this favor. Hopefully this Auroch doesn't die in a really awkward, a little bit awkward. Still a little too much walking time, more than I would like. We have a converted caribou or something. Going to the back. Your set player here, just scouting the map, looking for units to convert. He is stealing off Kiber's hunt pack over here. So each one converted is, you know, it's a kind of a double whammy. You lose your 150 plus food on Kiber's side, and then 150 goes over to Benny. So, you know, it's kind of like a net of loss of like 300 some hunt, give or take. So 150 plus 200, so 350. We saw this one relic, which makes siege cheaper. We also have scales of Echidna, which makes myth units cheaper. And we've got infantry train time, 25% faster train time, essentially, with the canopic jar of Bimseti. Some of these relics are brought over from the old legacy age mythology, like Dwarven Caliber and canopic jar. Others, like this one, are kind of new. I mean, it's a new name, though there was there a... I'm trying to think now. There's a relic that made myth units cheaper. I don't know if there was. There was one that made some cheaper. I think there was. So I know you could get your centaurs cheaper. Maybe that was a cheaper archer relic that affected centaurs. I don't remember now. Oh, I forgot. I usually fast forward the archaic age. I was wondering why I was taking too long. So we're going to barracks here. Planted right in, awkwardly right in the middle of the berries. I hope he's not planning on using said berries, because it's not looking good for the gathering. Meanwhile, Kiber is going to be a very slow to age up kind of a guy. We do have Anubis out. So not Ta, it's Anubis. We have the Valkyrie running around. One of the strongest myth units in the classical age. These Valkyries are something else. They are some tough ladies. We have vision being used just to kind of see what's been going on, and we really want Kiber to win so that game 3, so that this group comes all the way down to the very last game of the season here. Bringing back the relic that makes infantry train faster. Might be useful for Kiber just to get the reinforcements out a little bit. We've got Serpent Spear coming in on Benny's side so that he can get slightly stronger spearmen. Also getting Feet of the Jackal to make the Anubites do more damage, a lot more hit points, 40% more. And then also have a farther jump for their special. So it's an expensive tech, but it does do a lot. And then we see all the spearmen getting plugged in. And Kiber is kind of intelligently anticipating spearmen, so he's got a few throwing axemen out. We've got the spearmen pushing already, or trying to, up through the wall. And Kiber just needs to not lose units early. I mean, he has the villager lead because of the armory. Just needs to be careful not to get caught out in a fight. Berserk goes down before he needs to. But to lose a house, which could be a little bit awkward. Very, very bold to have, villagers out on this hunt when you still have chickens and berries. Scary, scary, scary. But we do have the Herseer here ready to go, and the Valkyrie, the Spearman and the Anubite coming in. He jumps over the wall. And we have currently some... Seems so weird to see Egyptians on Ghost Lake. It's not quite their home map. These spearmen who are either wearing sandals or aren't even just barefoot. It's got to be cold on the feet. Why doesn't the Anubite have a shadow? Right? It doesn't look like he has a shadow. That makes just the unit look a little bit off. Got the raiding cavalry coming up forward, seeing that all the army is ready and poised to attack. I think he's trying to just buy time with these raiding cavalry, which is what he's doing. And now Benny has decided, you know what? I am not being distracted. Kiber realizes, okay, I've gone forward with the raiding cavalry. If he comes here, I would lose a lot of villagers. And nicely thought out by Kiber, because if he would have stayed there, he was going to get absolutely rocked on that hunt. So I was able to get some of the hunt off the map, but not a ton. In the end, probably shouldn't have just gone up here. Just stayed in the base a little bit longer and massed up. It's getting armory upgrades. Got medium infantry coming. We do have medium spearmen, just a little bit cheaper. Got no eco upgrades other than husbandry. We do have 2 armory upgrades. Would like to maybe get this one. Just get a free dwarf along with it. Double Valks though. Maybe he wants the favor for the Valkyries instead. I feel like this is kind of the calm before the storm. But he's doing a good job setting up a bunch of obelisks to pick off a villager. Come through and see all the villagers just sitting around with all of the goats. So this is a benefit of being set against a Thor that builds an armory early, is that the set player gets all of the goats. 15 goats in hand compared to just 8, so essentially double the amount of goats, or the number of goats. So, it's going to get a free spearman here. Getting Aurora Borealis slowly. 42nd tech. Lots more damage, a lot more heal. Watch out for the Valks now. I don't know if he notices that the Pharaoh is here. He's distracted elsewhere. Don't want to lose the Valk. would be a huge loss just to lose the Valk just like that. Thing is, though, they're going to be out of commission for a while because the one's got to heal the other one up. And Kiber is still very boldly on the hunt. That would worry me. As Kiber, I guess he thinks he needs it. But I think he's just putting himself in a position to lose here. I think he went to delay. But we've got a lot of throwing axemen here lining up against the spearmen. We've got forest fire that'll force a little bit of movement. But I just don't think there's enough units here to defend by Kiber. Just a ton of... We're almost got the last two Valks down, or the Anubites down. We got picking off some reinforcements over here, but we got a Valk dead, villagers dead. That might be it for Kiber here in game 2, which would mean Benny advances just with the first 2 games. And yeah, he's been cut off there, and not looking good for Benny. It's just a little too... I think you gotta stay in your base as long as possible here as the Thor. Gather all of your in-base resources before you go out, because you're going to be behind for a while because of all the resources you've put into your armory up techs, and such, that you're going to be behind the 8-ball a little bit as far as military. So don't take an early fight if you can avoid it, which he certainly could have. I mean, even if he runs out of food here, I mean, what you want is a ton of throwing axemen, which doesn't need food. So really you could like transition everything to the wood line, and with double gold in your base along with dwarven mine, I mean, you could buy a decent amount of food too if you needed it, to where you should be able to like get to almost full pop before even needing to move out of the base. And then you kind of have like that death ball of throwing axemen in a way that would take care of all the spearmen really fast. And yeah, there's a few slingers, but yeah, just a little too eager to come out of the base by Kiber. He went up here, got a lot of idle time just walking up and walking back, and then comes down here and gets himself in a position where he has to fight before he wants to. It's 3 Valkyries. Cost a lot of food. Losing a lot of houses. We have the Dwarven Mine now built with 1,000 gold. And Kiber's just doing everything he can. I would assume he knows that if he loses this game, he's out of the series. But it's just too late now. I mean, like, we don't have enough resources to get to a full pop army anymore. So how in the world is Kiber ever going to get to this gold mine? I'll tell you a secret, I don't think he is. Don't think he is. Yeah, with all of these priests here, it's going to be hard for the Valkyries to really get the damage they need to do. I like the use of the obelisk here. Benny's played this really well. Would be a frustrating Egyptian to play against. Trying to build a wall here. He's got some medium berserks. Not sure of the purpose of the berserks. Build a wall here if he wants, but yeah, just forced to fight bad fight after bad fight, and what do you do? What do you do as Kiber here? Because yeah, Kiber's gold block now. What does he do? What does he do? He's got 500 gold in the bank. We've got an age up through Nephthys. So all Benny has to do is just sit on the gold mine, and he's feeling pretty good about himself. He knows there's nothing going on up here with these nicely placed obelisks. So Kiber is in a one size. He's in one screen of the map, essentially just been pushed in. And hello, Nimonu. We are getting through this series. You don't have the resources to afford losing units there. And yeah, Kiber's just afraid to do anything. It's like, I can't stay here, I gotta come out. There are some low hit point spearmen here. Rather than just fight these buildings, I'd rather just Benny sit back and heal up all of his fine people. It's kind of what he needs to do. Kiber's like slowly building out these little walls, just hoping beyond all odds that he can win a fight here, but don't think it's going to happen. Another Valkyrie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Valks. But he's just killing the walls. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You don't want to jump in here. Oh, you gotta pick off that anybody who's on the wrong side of the fence here. And this is the fight of ancestors being used. They'll take a lot of the damage from the throwing axemen. Not a bad little fight here just because of how many Valks there are. The Valks are getting pounded. The priests are not microed at all in this fight here. They have not. There, they finally shoot at the Valkyrie, but wow, they were not microed for an incredibly long part of that fight, which has allowed Kiber to kind of defend a little bit here against some massive odds. Wins that fight, kind of. I mean, they're both kind of just moving back, licking their wounds. But Benny can replenish his army, and Kiber has one Valkyrie, and now he doesn't have any Valkyries, so kind of beats back the first onslaught, but then Kiber shows up with a fully reinforced army in an incredibly long queue of units. And bless his heart, Kiber is refusing to go down without a fight, but this game is over. He's sending dwarves up trying to collect. They are spotted. I assume we'll see something move over there. Just sending one axeman over. One axeman raid. Surprised he's just ignoring this the way he is. Here comes another axeman. We've almost got Kiber at full pop here. With a pretty large mass of throwing axemen. But he's just way too far behind. I don't know what he's going to do. Look at all those throwing axemen just getting pummeled. As now we see the reinforcements going up to the top of the map. And Kiber's about to get Gold blocked on the top again, although he's kind of not really snuck a gold mine because it's under the watch of this obelisk. But Benny's just kind of tolerating this for a little too long and just kind of allowing this to happen. Where he could very easily be preventing all of this from going on. These dwarves need to get out of here. Might as well take a fight. This is as good of a fight as you're gonna get. Got the Valkyries poking away at the Scorpion Man. But yeah, it's just 210 pop to not 210 pop. And that gets Kiber just fully, he's just hard stuck in the archaic age, the ox cart. We'll just wander through. A Scorpion Man. Watch out. Alright, you gotta do something. You're throwing these units in just to die. You need to have the Valks fight. Oh, we do have flaming weapons here. Will this be like some sort of magical winning fight here? Where are the priests going? The priests are very confused. We have flaming weapons, there's just not enough units for ready. Kiber ready is not. Got it. And that's it. GG. Just all comes down to being a little too eager to leave the base by Kiber. You don't come up here, it's too risky. Don't come out here, it's too risky. Get all of your resources in the base first. And then come out. He was just forced to take a bad fight and got absolutely pummeled. Or maybe if he waits just a little bit longer with the better economy, he can get a bigger army. So that does mean that this last game is essentially meaningless. Because Kiber can't make it now to the playoffs. This is more of just for avoiding getting swept. Though actually, this game does mean something to Benny, I think. Let's take a look at the scoreboard here. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, if Benny wins this, he will get second place instead of third. Not a huge difference. It just means he has a slightly better seed in the first round. But I would think most of the players are so close that outside of getting first, the difference between second and third doesn't really matter. But maybe we can hype it up anyway and make it seem like it really matters. Like it's really important to get second place over third place. Just the prize money is so different between the two spots. Or something like that. So that we actually pretend like this game is very important to at least one of the players here. And we have Anubis has been reached up with by BenniWr. Let's or FR, not BR. And we have a slow age up from Kiber because that's what they do as Freyr. The Hersiers are on the back because they want to build a town center. A very brave town center here on the unknown, which has kind of spawned a pretty basic land map here. It's almost like a wannabe Erebus a little bit, just with, not Erebus, I wannabe Alfheim a little bit. Here, just with some different types of food on the board. We've got some big elephants here holding 900 resources each. I like the little relic areas that we had, although we've snaked a relic, 3 relics away. Fortresses don't cost any favor. Head of Orpheus gives more line of sight to buildings. That's pretty nice. And then Arrows of Alfar. Buildings do more damage. But you can see like just how much range or line of sight these obelisk give? But still does not know about this gold mine up here. Will Benny be able to get damage in? That's his goal with this push here. He's doing the one town center ISIS. Just lots of, you know, a very similar kind of approach with last game. The last game he opened up in pure spearmen. This game he's kind of mixed in some axemen to begin with. But yeah, just trying to get a huge army to overwhelm early. And Kiber is a little risky by grabbing this back town center, but it's a pretty solid gold mine spot here. A couple walls, and the gold mine will be pretty safe. Ooh, I'm really tired, by the way. Classic Egyptian houses, just put up willy-nilly with no care in the world. Doesn't see this gold, but should know it exists because Benny has his own really safe gold mine. It's an Hersier kill here. We've got a couple Draugrs. Kind of underwhelming units overall. Where is the bastion getting put up by Kiber? On the back gold line. So, Freyr is one of those gods where definitely gets stronger as the game goes on, courtesy of the technologies costing half as much. So as you age up and get access to more technologies, that bonus just becomes better and better and better. And Benny is just kind of hurting himself by not having this gold mine scouted. He'll have it scouted now and sees what's going on. Doesn't know about this back town center being grabbed. So maybe Benny is a little bit passive just because he doesn't know what Kiber's doing. So now he should know. It's like, okay, I see a town center. I see a number of military units. Not a huge number, but I see some military units. See some military building. I don't think that we are going to get a super fast heroic, so could be a little more aggressive. Instead, however, Benny's going heroic. Going with Sobek, which is the OG Hathor, who has been removed from the game. We have a priest give up life. We have these dwarves going to gold. Those villagers going to the elephant. And Blue knows very much that this is going on. Nice little annoying wall here put up by Kiber just to buy more time. Here's Hathor. Just throwing a Migdal down right in his face. Clearly thinking to himself that he can't push here, so he will push here. But also deleted a villager, or the monument, to get this one. I'd like to see the siege works out just a little bit more forward. I mean, it's kind of ticky-tack, but get it forward so that siege can get pumping here pretty quick. And Kiber is hoping he can withstand this first attack. Probably can, because he's almost up with Iger, which will give him access to Tempest, which is super strong. I guess it depends on whether or not Benny can kill the town center first. I don't think he can. And so the longer this goes without any punishment of the second town center, the further Kiber will be ahead. We also have the pig as well. That can help defend things if it gets a little too hairy. You're aged up. We'll have... Ooh, that's got quite a bit of damage. Well, the pig's in the very wrong spot over there. Boy, he is trucking along. Trying to get on that. Finish that off, the Fatsuchos. Holds off the first attack with... Oh, don't turn and fight. You gotta just wait. Uh-oh. Oh, the pig should have kept going. Kind of stuck. Benny's kind of got to do something here. The longer this stays, the less of a chance he's got. Would be nice to pick off this rock giant. What's up, a leaping walrus? We're just watching the end of this match here, and then I will probably trundle off to bed after this. This is game 3. Did I add this second point for Benny? No, I didn't. Benny actually has 2 points, not 1. Looks like Benny's about to stay at 2 points. I don't think there's enough, because we still have Tempest to use, and Kiber doesn't even need to use Tempest. And yeah, the sound of the chariots start collapsing. There are Huskarls on them with all of these armory upgrades. And Kiber is in no position where he feels like he needs to push. He will just wait for his techs. Can't go to... Well, when are your matches? I probably will have to. So I have to be up in the morning. How long before they happen? Well, you got the upgrade for the Draugr. The Revenant Draugr. What in the world does this tech even give? Range is bigger. And does more damage. 20% more. I guess. They're in 3 hours? Ooh. Yes, sorry, I'll be asleep. If I didn't have to be up in the morning, I would stay awake for that. Since I'm on night shift, but I've got a bit of an event tomorrow. Going golfing tomorrow with a group of buddies. It's kind of there's a yearly there's a yearly golf outing around here that is aimed for law enforcement. So it's free for me to golf, which is my kind of a price. Free. So I'm going. I don't golf. This would be only the third time in my life I've golfed. I'm terrible, but it's fun. It's free. Free food. Good time to hang out with the buddies. We have another locust coming through. Just these throwing action are just face tanking it. But there's just not enough chariots here to really defend. You got all the hearse here, or another hearse here. Oh, there's some hearse here. Hearse here, Huskaros, and the old Ulfsarks, which are now called the Berserks. Just kind of running in. Nice little choke point he's found here, but just not enough. Migdol goes down. Bit of a raid up here. Kind of turned some of these guys into Berserks. But that's about it. Just BenniWr just couldn't ever apply the pressure that he needed to punish the Freyr boom here. This is a really good map for what Kiber did. You have like a perfectly defensive town center here. You have a really nice second gold mine that's not far out of your town center to the side. So really tough match, I think, for Benny to figure out something to do with this. So Kiber does take a win. The downside for Kiber is that he needed two wins to make the playoffs. Unfortunately, 2-1 means he is one game short of the finals. So with Benny winning 2, he ends up at 6-6. Kiber winning 1, he ends up at 6-6. They are in the same spot as ISO Marto, who advances in second place because he beat both Kiber and BenniWr head-to-head. Kiber then lost to both of those players, and he gets 4th. So Benny, the very last match of the group, hops up to number 3, makes it to the playoffs. ISO Marto as well, and then Apoy, who finishes top of his division. This is a really close division here. 3 players at 6-6. Your top player at 8-4. Your bottom one at 4-8. So I mean, we were two games off from a perfect 5-way tie. So glad we didn't get that. That would have been a little complicated for me. But congratulations to Apoy, first spot. That's Marto second. And BenniWr third. And better luck next time for Darth Knox and Kiber. At least Kiber ends the season on a win, and we get to win at his last game. So at least he's got that going for him. But anyway, I will have to go. It's been fun. I played a match earlier, a Leaping Walrus. If you wanted to go back to the video before this, I played my Athenian match against Jollyman. It was a good series, as all of my series are. So take a look at that, and thanks for the 10 months. Appreciate you, and good luck in your matches coming up. I assume you still have a shot at third. Let's take a look, actually. Really quickly. We will see where he is at. Go to the classic tier. You haven't looked at the standings. Do you want to? Because I'm looking right now. I don't know if they're updated after the games from yesterday. But let's take a look. We will take a look at where a Leaping Walrus is. So currently at the bottom, we now have some colors here to kind of show where everyone is. Yeah, 03, that's a tough thing to climb over against Seidel. Especially because Seidel isn't even your front runner yet. I guess he could end up being at the front runner. But that's a tough. You're gonna have to end up with 8 wins. So you still have 3 matches. So 2-1 match win in every match, and you've got your 8 wins to maybe get over one of these players. But yeah, that's tough sledding. But if you don't make it, I mean, just have fun. I mean, you did beat Sheprey, who is at 8 points, so you would hold a tiebreaker over Sheprey if you guys end up tied. You've got to think though, looking at these matches here, Seidel and Einherjb will probably be 1 and 2, depending on how it ends up. Maybe. I guess it depends how their last match goes. Even Swartico is kind of an outside shot at getting there. Maybe not even outside. He's got 2 matches left. So it's kind of a handful of different players that can get to the top 3 here. So nobody's safe yet. Like even Sheprey with 8 and 7, which is decent, could miss out. So a Leaping Walrus still has to play Einherj, still has to play Manfred, and has to play Swartico. So you could probably beat Manfred, right? Manfred having not a completely awful season, but probably not the results he would have liked. So there's some opportunity here. This one would probably be tough. Einherj is going to be tough. There, that'll be your tough match, I think, and even Swartico. So you've got 2 tough ones, one that should be okay. But do you have all 3 matches scheduled? Because there's not very many, only 2 days left. So 2 today. Is the third one scheduled? One, okay, so you have them all scheduled. So good luck in all of those. If you don't make it, I just hope you at least have fun. In the end, that's the main thing that matters. Is I always enjoy competition like this, win or lose. It's just fun just to compete. So we'll see. This is unfortunate over here. Rashinar versus Pagliacci for Gerbot. I mean, you essentially you're waiting the last match between these 2 players where you need Roshan Hanner to lose. So Gerbot even lost to Roshan Hanner. So Gerbot to make it would need Roshan Hanner to lose all 3 games. So that'll be tough. You heard the Hermes division is stronger players. Hey, all that matters is once you get in the playoffs, see how this side does against this side, and we'll find out who really has the better players. But yeah, this will end up Ironhide really dominant here, 5-0, 11-4 record. That's pretty solid. Nice performance here. So winning the whole thing. He could get first place in his division and then go from there. I'm excited for the playoffs. It's nice to have 4 tiers. A lot of players getting to compete against similar level of players. It's when it comes to tournaments, the thing I always dislike is just how pointless they are generally for players that aren't top. Because like so Boyd, for example, he's hosting a $10,000 tournament coming up, which is awesome. But the reality is, outside of maybe 20, you probably have 20 players that like have any sort of legitimate shot of even qualifying. So if out of all the rest of the players in the community, the tournament is almost, at least the main event, it's kind of pointless because there's no chance. Um, so it's nice to have something like this where like players are competing against like players. Because nobody learns anything in beatdowns. I mean, what's the point? You know, you get 1400 and you sign up for a top level tournament. You just get spanked in the first round, or maybe the second if you get, maybe play in game of the first round. Then you don't learn anything. So I'm really happy for this the way this format is for this tournament. Whoever put it together, a pretty smart guy, whoever that was. But yeah, so anyway, thanks for watching. I will be back tomorrow plus like 3 hours to play my final match against Garmajuda. If you missed my match earlier, I played against Jolly Man in a nice set. No spoilers. It was just a nice set of games. Win or lose, always nice games. So yeah, so it's been fun. Yeah, I enjoy it. So hence I hence I run the tournament. If I didn't have fun doing it, I wouldn't play. And also a big hand to Joey Bads, who is the one that puts together and maintains the Liquipedia page. This adds a lot. I would not have the time to set this all up right now. Maybe coming into the next couple weeks, I'd have a little more time, but this is important. It gives a lot of it makes the tournament seem a little bit more like legit when you can log on and see the standings and have fun looking at them. So it's been fun. And he even has a little bit of a statistics page that will be used to determine all patches in the future, kind of going over wins and losses for each gods. We can see that Odin and Freyr are very popular picks here. Surprised to see Poseidon so low. Poseidon sitting at 17 and 17. Not a ton of picks. We don't have very many Chinese players. In fact, Nuwa hasn't even. Okay, never mind. Nuwa has been picked a few times. Ra is the lowest picked god. That's so strange to see just how popular Ra had been for so long. But yeah, Freyr is doing pretty well. 39 and 28. It's pretty nice. Otherwise, that's probably is the best. Nope, 28 and 18 is going to be the best win-loss rate. It looks like for Loki. Um, hey, I've been doing good with Poseidon. It's my other gods that hold me down a little bit. But anyway, I must go. Bye. Thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow. Big match against Garmajuda. Can I get first place in the division, second place, third place, or fourth? Who knows?